Hello and welcome back to the She Gallery show. Thank you for being with us. My name is Dulce Maria Diaz. I am producer and founder of She Gallery, and you are with us live on CAN TV. Please remember that you can join in this conversation at 312-738-1060. That number is also found on the bottom of the screen and will be throughout the rest of the segment of the show. Please remember that you can always visit us at sharinghisenergygallery.net. You can always email me. And you can always call us. Let us know if you want to get involved and if you want to be interviewed or just want to find out a little bit more about our organization. Normally our segment is on at 6 o'clock, and it will be, but today we have a special segment. And this segment is dedicated to Domestic Violence Awareness Month, which is really just domestic violence because it's something that happens every single day. It's happening right now. 1 out of 4 women experience domestic violence, and 1 out of 14 males experience domestic violence. And many of us are quiet about these situations, and some of us are forced to speak. Some of us don't get a chance to speak before they're no longer with us. And it's a very difficult cycle to be in, and it's very, very difficult to talk about it. So I am founder of She Gallery, and one of the reasons why I founded this organization, this nonprofit, was to help others. I've been through a lot of situations in my own personal life that it broke my heart to think that other young ladies can possibly go through what I went through when I was younger. And if I can help empower other people, then I want to be able to do that just by sharing my story, because sometimes that's all it takes. So one of the wonderful things about CAN TV is that it has allowed me to voice and to introduce Chicago entrepreneurs, artists of all backgrounds, and people to just share their story and be able to find out that there are other people that feel the same way, or that may have felt lost and somehow healed through the arts and education. And sometimes education can just mean conversation. So you will remember that a few weeks ago we had presented Kathy Byrne and Marina Dobrosavic, excuse me if I'm mispronouncing that, and we also had KT Battle. These are 3 women that we had recently had on our show, and just through the power of communication and will, they said, you know what, let's do something together for Domestic Violence Awareness Month. I really want to do this. I said, let's do it. And since we've had a couple of meetings, and I'm very excited because now we have gathered and are putting together a vigil. It's a vigil homage for domestic violence survivors and those we have lost. And this is called From Victims to Survivors. So a vigil homage is will be outside of Comfort Station. We're partnering up with nonprofit Comfort Station, who KT Battle, who's also an attorney, but she also runs this organization. She volunteers her time for events, and she said, you know what, I want to help do this. So she's helping us, and Comfort Station has opened up their doors, and we want to continue to open up our doors and welcome you. And we still have an entry call for poets, songwriters, domestic abuse survivor testimonials, dancers, anybody that wants to share their story or be a part of this event. We want to thank, obviously, Kathy Byrne, Kate Battle, Marina Dobrosavic, Comfort Station for initially making this happen. And then we want to thank the rest of the organizations that have just piled up and said, you know what, we want to help. And at this point, that amount of people is numerous, so we really, really want to thank you. We go from Lifespan to No More to C Pizza, donating pizza, and Burrow bringing us couches, and these other community of organizations just by conversation that say we want to support this cause. And we're very excited about that. We're overwhelmed by the response of performers because of their backgrounds. Most of them have been PhDs, therapist, dance movement, art therapy. So it's really interesting. And then we're having Debbie Van Dam Boom, who was with us for Sexual Assault Awareness Month with Mujeres Latinas en Acción. And she is going to be praying with us through anointment. And this is no religion at all whatsoever. It's just strictly a blessing. And that's part of our vigil. So we will have candles, and we will dance, and we will sing, and we will share our stories in our hearts. And we also want to thank Diana Mendez from Mujeres Latinas en Acción, who will be our on-site clinician. And so if anybody has any triggers or just wants to talk, there will be a safe space for that, and as well as healing, prayer, whatever it is that you need. We want to let you know that you're not alone, because it's a horrible thing to go through. And sometimes we don't even realize that we're going through it until we get out of it. And sometimes we don't get out of it. And our parents or our family are the ones that are left to deal with it. And that can be really scarring and scary. So my name is Dulce Maria Diaz, and I am a survivor. I was married in 2007. And I was divorced by 2008. Now, the domestic abuse did not start after I got married. It started way before then. And it's an ugly cycle, because when you love somebody, you always hope that things can get better. And then there's this cycle where things do get better, and when it's good, it's great, and when it's bad, it's dangerous. And it's embarrassing. And you really want to hold on to that good, because the good is so good, and you want to hope that it can stay good. So for those of you who personally know me would know that I would not put up with that, because I've always been a little firecracker. But love does that. Love is unconditional. But love is kind, and love is patient, and love should not hurt, and that is true. So I left my domestic abuse situation through epiphany and conversation and friends and counseling, and it has not been easy. And honestly, the easiest thing, or the best tool, I should say, has been art. It was like where you literally are so fed up and you say, wait, I want to be happy again. I don't like this. I don't like this feeling of being unhappy. I don't want to live the rest of my life this way. And I literally had to make a list of things that made me happy. And I said, I need to get back to whatever makes me happy. And it wasn't the first time that I've gone through hard pain. And I've always done this. I just found that it was something that helped me. And writing was always good. Being creative, painting. And it was after I had my divorce and went through health issues with my feet. I had surgeries, and it was my ex-husband who was taking care of me after I just divorced him, so that was tough. But it was during that time that I had repetitive dreams, and those dreams led me back to the University of Chicago. I shouldn't say back. They led me to the University of Chicago, and that's where I found that I needed to study the business for the arts, and then here came She Gallery. So trust your instinct, trust your gut, and don't be afraid to leave a situation that is hurting you, because that's not love. So earlier this segment, we also had Jill Wright, who was also with us for Sexual Awareness Month with Mujeres Latinas en Acción. And we had this conversation where we were able to talk about barriers and boundaries with the people that you love that hurt you. And she made a really good point. In this situation, it was pain from your mother, right? So it's somebody that you love, and you're supposed to love them unconditionally, but they're hurting you. Can you divorce your mother? I was able to divorce my husband, but can you divorce your mother? And we talked about something that was really interesting, and it was love with boundaries and setting those boundaries. And I personally left my situation 6 years ago, but I'm still friends with my ex-husband. How can that be possible? Some people may say. Then I had a conversation with Kathy Byrne, and she says, oh, finally, somebody gets it. I'm still friends with my ex-husband as well. I had a conversation with my therapist after I had left my ex-husband, and I said, is there any way that he may actually change? Anytime in the future, that he may actually grow and actually change? And she said, Dulce, yes, he really may. He really may change, but not with you. If he does, and he grows from this experience, and he learned from this experience, it's going to have to be with somebody else. And I find that to be very true. So some people may find that dumb. I call it unconditional love. Everybody fights their own demons. I just set my own boundaries. So I want to share a poem that I wrote during this time. This was a time, this was dated December 4th, 2012. And I want to share this poem because it's how I was feeling during this time. And that's the magic of writing, right? And keeping journals. You go through these time capsules where you're forced to capture that feeling because you wrote it during that time. You can take photos, and that saves a different type of memory. But I think that journals and writing and songs really hold on to an emotion from that time. And it's a beautiful thing. It's not necessarily bad, because you can go back and say, my God, I can't believe I went through that. I can't believe I put up with that. I'm so glad I healed, and now I can help other people. And then for the people that are still feeling this way, can know, damn, maybe there's hope. Because that's the true message. We just want to remind you that there is hope, and there's people, and there's help. Especially nowadays. We are in 2018. Do not be afraid. So, I'll move on to my poem. December 4th, 2012. Butterfly soars through his wicked mind. The broken wing tries hard to fly. She sees him. Again she falls. Suicide to a butterfly. Yes, she remembers this story. She suffocates in her own dismay, and when she awakes, death stares at her mirror. He takes the mirror off the face she once knew. He says he'll set her free one day, just not today. Butterfly soars through his wicked heart, suffocating, waiting for death. Death never comes. Suicide to a butterfly is suffocating in his heart. One day he'll set her free, he says. One day. Always not today. And again she falls, waiting for death. It's deep. But that's how lost and fogged we feel sometimes, and we don't even realize it. So during the time that I was in the situation that really carried on for years, and it's like, oh, then you go see the doctor and he's diagnosed with so-and-so, and you think, well, you have to be unconditional and be there for him, and you're the nurturer and they need you, and they're threatening to kill themselves if you leave them. And that happens. There's a lot of threatening, there's a lot of crying. And when I left, he was like hitting on other girls, pawned our rings. I said, oh my God, I could have done this years ago. I didn't know that he was going to be such a liar about this whole thing. And it's like, you really have to put yourself first. Because if you're not loving yourself, you can't love anybody else. And that's where it starts. And if that person cannot love you and respect you and empower you as a person, that's not love. Your partner should want to empower you. Your partner should want the best for you. Your partner should not want to put you down. Your partner should not demand sex when you don't want it. It's been interesting talking to so many people about these situations, and always in every conversation we find that it's happened to somebody directly or it's happened to somebody indirectly, and many people just stay, and many people are just quiet or they shy away from it. And I want to just touch on culture, cultura. I believe that in the Latin culture it's very, and maybe in other cultures as well, it's very like you stay with your partner no matter what. And I don't think it's just the Mexican culture. That's just my culture, so that's the one I truly understand. But I know that there's other people that are strong in these beliefs, maybe with religious beliefs, where you're supposed to stick it out with your partner no matter what. Well, I did marry through church. And after I left my partner, first I had an epiphany. After we got married and we went on our honeymoon and we came back. I got married in June. By July, I got hit again. And I didn't know why. And I wanted to know why. I so desperately wanted to know why. And he was never able to give me an answer. And slowly you distance yourself. You learn that you want to love yourself a little bit more. And you know that it's not fair. And I was taking photographs, and I had a conversation with an artist that I really looked up to. And in just that one conversation, he was a graffiti artist, but it wasn't an inspiration from his graffiti. It was something that he said about believing in yourself. And once you're able to believe in yourself, you find that your dreams are at arm's length. Just the way he said it, at arm's length. And I said, my dreams can be at arm's length? And I went back to that list in my head of everything that made me happy. And I saw how far away I had gone from that girl. And I distanced myself from that girl. It was so easy for me to leave after I had that thought. And I thought, I never want to be with anybody that I would not want my child to be with. And I learned to follow this philosophy, to take care of the child inside of you, to go back to the 5-year-old that you once were, to talk to that child, to write to that child, to see if that child would be proud of you as an adult. Are you a good role model to that child? And if I did have my own child, what kind of influence would I be to my child? Because we do live in a world of monkey see and monkey do. It's not, no, you shouldn't do that. Well, mommy, you're doing it too. That's just how it is. So we have to be strong enough to break these cycles. And people think that when you're hurt and you come out that you're weak, and you're not. You're actually really, really, really strong, because it's really hard. It's not easy to come up here and talk about this. It's taken me years. I was suicidal. I was in the hospital room. Vicky, my brother's ex-girlfriend, had to go to the hospital. I wanted to go home. I wanted to pretend nothing happened. I had to go to work with a black eye. My boss said, "Why are you marrying him?" I said, "It's gonna get better." Because I really wanted it to. But it didn't. And thanks to art and believing in my dreams and going back to that little girl, and to this day living by that philosophy of, if I don't want my child to be with somebody like that, I shouldn't be with somebody like that. Because I do want a mother one day. And I know how important it is to be a good influence to children. And that's extremely important to me. And it should be to you too. And if you are in a situation where you are already a mother and you say, well, it's easier for you to say, know that that child is looking at you. That child is mirroring you. And you think that child does not understand, or they cannot hear, and they do. They feel. They know. They know. Don't ignore those feelings. Please visit us on our website. Again, if you want to take part in From Victims to Survivors, this is a visual homage to domestic abuse survivors and those we have lost. And this will take place on Sunday, October 7th, 2008, from 6 to 9 at Comfort Station. That is a nonprofit that opens their doors to their communities, extending all the way over here and throughout Chicago. And this is a call for poets, songwriters, domestic abuse survivor testimonials, storytelling. You can submit your information to sharinghisenergygallery@gmail.com by September 15th, 2015. This is a S.H.E Gallery production curated by Kathy Byrne, Kate Battle, Marina Drovosalvage, and myself. And please remember that you can always visit us on our website at sharinghisenergygallery.net. You can always email us. You can always call us for any other situation. Or if you just want to take part of the situation. We're excited to present Christina E. Fontanelle. She is a Master of Arts in Therapy, Dance Movement Therapy, and she is also an author. And what she does is she works with body, soul, and spirit. She's a teacher over at the School of Art Institute of Chicago, and she specializes in art therapy movement. So we're extremely excited to have her not only perform, but talk to us about the importance of healing through arts, dancing, and movement. You think about the body, you think about how much it moves, you think about releasing that energy. Many people, when they're in tough situations, sadly go to alcohol or drinking or just bad vices to cover up, but that doesn't really heal. That's just like really bad medicine that's ultimately going to kill you. So it's better to do it holistically and dance. Have fun with it. So thank you, Christina Fontanelle, for being with us. We also want to thank Ada Chang, PhD. She is a storyteller, performing artist. And I'm really, really, really excited about this performance. I like the diversity of the people that are coming through too. I also wanted to touch on that. Domestic abuse is not prejudice at all. It happens to everybody. It happens to people of all backgrounds, all ages, all social classes, everywhere. And I think it's part of like just the woman dogma. I mean, it obviously happens to males too, but it obviously happens more to women. Because for some reason, some male feel like they're superior to women. And I find that really interesting because I thought we were equal. We're just different genders. So I don't really understand that, but I would like to. So if any male can explain that to me, please do. We are also with Leah Siger. She is the founder of the Sunflower Project, and she also has a dance and testimonial. We were very surprised by the response of dancers that we got. I thought that more people were healing through speaking and through song, but surprisingly, people are moving into yoga and really being in touch with their bodies and dance and movement, which is a really good sign of evolution for healing, I believe. It's so understood and universal. We also have Marina, who is also one of our curators, sharing some poems. Amanda Saucedo, some of you may remember from Soul's Rise, we love her, and she was also in our show. She will be dancing as well. I will also be performing. I have a short song, and I will share a testimonial in a very poetic way as well. And we have some other really interesting people joining us. Aside from the anointments, we also have the clinicians, and we expect it to be a very special event. So thank you so much for everybody that's participating, all of the donors. Thank you so much, Can TV, for giving us this time to speak about the importance of domestic abuse. And again, it's not just in October, it happens every single day. And do not be afraid to reach out to us, reach out to your local organizations, reach out to a friend. Don't be afraid to vent. We all go through those moments of feeling alone, and it's not that it's easy. It's never easy, but life's not easy. Just know that there's resources, and that's important because you are valuable, and you need to know that. And if you can't value yourself, it's going to be really hard to help. So it's really important to get back to the root of what makes you happy. I always recommend that you go back to the child that you were. If you didn't have a good childhood, that may be part of the reason why you accept certain things in your life. That's something that I learned when I was in therapy. One of the questions that my therapist asked me, was, when was the last time he hit you? And I said, 4th of July. And she said, how many times did he hit you? And I couldn't count. And I think that's when it really triggered, like, man, I was in a domestic abuse relationship. I never thought. We don't make these choices, but we do make the choice to react in the way that we could. We can't do anything about the things we don't have control about, obviously. But it is your life, and you always have control of your life, no matter what happens to you. And you're not a victim, you are a survivor. And I'm really glad that we're tuning in that word, because sometimes it's just the power of words that can really help somebody get through situations, especially really hard situations that are just hard to talk about. So if you or somebody that you love is going through a situation like this, please let us know, give us a call. We have a caller. You have a question or a comment?
Hi, Lisa. This is Paula. How you doing? Good evening.
Hi, Paula. Good. How are you? Thank you for joining us.
We only got a few minutes to talk. Listen, you did a great job, the great season this year. You had some beautiful artists on your TV. Just keep going. I love you. Love doesn't hurt. I love you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Paula. Love you, too. Paula has been watching our season, I don't know, maybe since it started, so thank you so much. Thank you for all of your support. Again, please remember that you can visit us at our website at any time. That's sharinghisenergygallery.net. You can always email us. You can always call us. And if you would like more information or would like to send a submission for our entry from Victors to Survivors, please do so by September 15th, 2018. If you need more time, it's fine. Just send me a message and let me know what it is that you need. Please also know that we have an art exhibition coming up later on this month. You could visit our website for that information. And we still have orientation, looking for members to join our community tree. And that is taking place on September 22nd at Newberry Library. And we want to thank you and Can TV so much for being with us today and really empowering this voice for Domestic Violence Awareness Month coming up next month, and it's really something to think about every single day. We'll see you soon for a regular segment, She Gallery Show. Thank you.